Welcome back to Cask and Point. Today is going to be an amazing day because we are doing a rare character Brook Hill Bourbon blind. Now, I cannot understate how excited I have been for this video. About a month ago, I posted a video on rare character Brook Hill Bourbon's Duro. Duro is a wheated bourbon that, in my opinion, takes a lot of the flavor profile that I enjoy out of William LaRue and a lot of the flavor profile that I enjoy out of George T. Stagg, blends them together into an amazing concoction that is just absolutely stellar and has earned the highest rating so far that I've given on this channel. Now, I have tried about 600 whiskeys in the year of 2024, and to earn the #1 spot means a lot. And so I've been looking forward to trying more Brook Hill bourbons with you all, but let's take a little bit of a step back before I get into exactly what we're drinking here today. So Rare Character, they source all their whiskeys. They were started in 2021, founded by Pablo and Pete, and they're most well known for their single barrel series. So their single barrel series includes things like Rare Character KOA, which I've done 3 videos on the channel already, TKO, which I've done 2 videos on the channel already, and then other things like KEL, SRY, KRY, and these barrel codes are meant to signify a specific lot. So for example, Rare Character Rio is an 8-year, and they previously were a little bit younger, but a 6 to 8 year, about 115 proof MGP bourbon, and KEL is meant to signal a similar thing, also from MGP, also similar age, also similar proof, but aged in a special Kelvin Char 4 barrel. TKO is an experimental rye mash bill from Dickel that's absolutely amazing. KOA is a high proof, likely Barton sourced Kentucky bourbon that's 8 to 9 years old, and all these other barrel codes have all these other meanings which I can put on your screen, but essentially there are a lot of different barrel codes, and Rare Character is sourcing hundreds of barrels every single year at this point, probably over 1,000, maybe even 2,000 to 3,000. I don't know the exact numbers, so don't quote me on any of that. But the idea is that the best barrels, that after looking at all these lots and all these thousands of barrels that they try, the absolute best 10, 20, 30 whiskeys are getting thrown under the Brook Hill lineup. So Brook Hill, it was meant to model an old-time whiskey from the early 20th century, and I talked a little bit more about it in my previous video on Brook Hill, so definitely check that out. But I believe that these are modeled after Willet-sourced bottles. So Willet used to source a lot of top-tier whiskeys, and nowadays Willet really only pumps out their own distillate, and it's still very good distillate, but they're also still charging serious sums of money for whiskey that people think is much worse than it once was. But back in the day, they used to source 17-year, 20-year, 25-year, up to 28-year-old whiskey from Kentucky, some of the best stuff out there, so from Burton Distillery, from Heaven Hill, pre-fire Heaven Hill, MGP, like really the best of the best, and they used to charge a lot of money for it. And that's what Brook Hill is trying to do here today, and we'll see how it turns out, but so far, we had 8 Brook Hill bourbons that were released, and 8 Brook Hill ryes that were released in the beginning of 2024, and then there was really nothing, and then in the last 2 months, we've had about 20 release of the bourbons, and I think about 8 of the ryes. So we've really gotten way more Brook Hills. It's really been flooding the market. But interestingly enough, the secondary market has actually been going up on these bottles as the supply has been going up, because it's grabbing the attention of a lot of people, and people have been so excited to try these, and they're trying them and absolutely loving them. So today I've thrown in a blind of 4 of what I believe to be the best Brook Hill bourbons out there on the market right now. We're going to try to figure out, we're going to pick out the tasting notes, we're going to rate them all, we're going to figure out which one we really like, and then we'll find out later what actually won. So let's break down exactly the barrels that we're trying. So candidate #1 here is Brook Hill Bourbon's Lisboahorror. So Lisboahorror was initially a Wisconsin-only release, and actually on the website it says that it's only 48 bottles. However, on the actual bottle it says it's 109, and I know a buddy that found a lot of them in South Carolina, and so it's released in Wisconsin and South Carolina, it seems like, probably half of it went to Wisconsin, half of it went to South Carolina, and they announce where these bottles are released, which I think is pretty cool. Unfortunately, their website is just totally inaccurate, and there are many instances of the actual bottle count on the bottle being different from the bottle count that they say on the website. This seems like a pretty easy fix, so I'm not sure why there's this discrepancy in information, but whatever. We are starting with Lisboahorror. This is a 10-year, 131.04 proof. Now, this is a sister barrel to Burns Steakhouse, which is another Brook Hill, and these two have been described to have darker flavor profiles, and people have been absolutely loving them. The secondary on this bottle is probably about $600, so not cheap, and this one, MSRP is about $250. Next up, we have Brook Hill Bourbon's Sunshine. So Sunshine has a barrel code CB1, 142 bottles, and this was released in Tennessee. This is 138.2 proof and 8 years old. Now, Brook Hill Bourbon Sunshine is likely Barton, but it's also likely a mash bill that's different from KOA. So KOA is a 75-21-4 mash bill, so 75% corn, 21% rye, 4% malted barley, whereas Sunshine is probably the 74-18 8-mash bill from Barton. We don't know, but it's been rumored to be Barton, but it is much higher proof. And actually, a fun story about this bottle is that at the rare character dinner that happened at Green's Farms when, this lovely KOA was picked and Pablo was there, Pablo actually brought 2 bottles of Brook Hill bourbon with us, but it was unreleased. But he put a barrel code on the bottle, even though he didn't put a bottle number, even though he didn't put a proof or anything like that. And so I may or may not have taken a photo of that bottle. And then 2 months later, when a bottle released with what I believe to be similar stats in Tennessee, lined up the barrel codes, found out that this is the exact bottle that I did actually try about 2 months ago before it was bottled. And then I knew I had to get a bottle of it. So that's exactly what I did. And I'll be honest, it was incredible. But we'll see how good it does in this blind here today. Number 3 is Brook Hill Bourbon's Pixelated. So Pixelated here is a 9D5 barrel number. This is bottle 106 out of 128. Pixelated, I believe, is also a Wisconsin release. And Pixelated is sister barrels with Lion and with Old Lightning. And this has also been a very popular line. Some people have really, really enjoyed Old Lightning. Some people have had mixed feelings about Lion, so excited to try Pixelated here. It's a 131.5 proof 9-year bourbon. And then finally, we have Whoryno. Now, Whoryno is a 15-year, 110.14 proof, the highest MSRP by far. I believe all of these are going to be in the $250 to $300 range. This is it was actually $700 MSRP, so not cheap at all. And the secondary market on it isn't really any higher because it's $700 already. But this is a T312 barrel code, bottle number 27 out of 119 at Whoryno is on the back. And Whoryno is one of the best barrel pickers out there, similar to like T8KE. They're very popular online influencers that do a lot of amazing barrel picks very often. That bottle is not cheap, and so we have 4 bangers here. And the reason why I decided to go with these 4 in particular was because Lisboahorror and Burns have been very popular in their sister barrel, so I wanted to try one of them. Sunshine is sisters with Was Here, which is a 145 proof 9-year, a new 8-year that just dropped that's 141 proof called Travelers. Pixelated is sisters with Lion and Old Lightning, and Whoryno is sisters with Space Invaders, which is also 15-year, and probably somewhat similar to the other 2 15-years, Reflect Select and Compass Motions, although the barrel codes are very different. Now, I've hopefully put some of the barrel code information on your screen so that this wasn't just me spewing information out you guys. Hopefully you guys got a couple of visuals. I'll edit the video and do what I can. But that was a lot of talking. I think we need to do some drinking. Let's get into our first pour. But wait, you're probably wondering, I've given you 4 Brook Hill bourbons. What is the 5th? Because there are 5. Rare Character KOA Just Bottles. So I've long proclaimed that this bottle to me is at the level of Brook Hill bourbon. Many people have said that this is beating George T. Stagg. Many people have even told me that they've blinded it against some of the best years like 2022, and they say that many people prefer this bottle to that. And so when I collected this blind, knew I had to throw in a little bit of a funky one that isn't actually a Brook Hill, but I have said many great things about, and let's see really how it holds up. Let's see if it's really going to place in this top 2, top 3 here, if it's going to be dead last, if it's clearly going to be way worse, because I've talked very highly about this bottle. This is 140.82 proof, 8-year, 11-month, a secondary about $450, so actually much cheaper than any bottle here, since we're looking at probably $600 for Lisboahorror, about $600 for Sunshine, Pixelated is about $525, and then Whoryno is probably about $700, $750, maybe a little bit higher. So if that does really well, it just goes to show just how amazing that bottle is. But let's find out. Let's go to sample number 1. Now, I will show on your screen what I'm drinking. I don't know what we're drinking just yet, and I have some cards that have the numbers on the bottom, so we'll figure it out later, but let's get into sample number 1. Oh, this is interesting. So there's a little bit of heat on this, but I'm also getting a lot of like peach fruit on this. Interesting. This is oaky and this is fruity. It smells nice. I'm getting a much brighter flavor profile on this one. We're looking at some baking spice. We're looking at some cherry. We're looking at a lot of peach and nectarine, those kind of stone fruit flavors here. And as I dig deeper, there's a little bit of musty oak on this as well. A little bit of rye spice and dill. Overall, though, the peach is definitely the most dominant note here. But honestly, it's not super flavorful on the nose. Like, I'm not smelling this and thinking, oh my god, this is the most amazing thing ever. Maybe this is the Just Bottles. We'll see. Overall, it smells good, and it smells fruity, which is nice, but yeah, let's try it. Wow. Oh wow, there's so much more flavor on that. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so it begins with a little bit of baking spice and a ton of fruit. A ton of peach fruit on this. And then it kind of gets into like a really nice musty oak, what I really like. Definitely some baking spice on this one. I think this is the Just Bottle KOA, but I'll be honest, odds are Sunshine and Just Bottles are pretty similar in flavor profile. Also, this is a blind. I have no idea what the heck this is. It could be totally different. I'll show it on your screen so you guys know what I'm drinking, so you guys can have some fun making fun of me. But I have no idea what this is. But it's good. It's good. It's going to be in the high 8s. I think most of these pours are going to be in the high 8s. I'm really curious to see if we break a 9 today. That is really what I'm hoping we get, but we'll find out. But this is nice. This is nice. It almost smells like it needs to open up a little bit more, but these have been sitting here for about 30 minutes, so they've opened up plenty. But yeah, I'm curious to see how a bottle like this would open up over time. I'm wondering if it's the Just Bottles, and I mean, I'm getting low on my Just Bottles, so maybe it's actually been like too aired out over time. I have no idea. I can also taste a good amount of proof on this, but I mean, we're looking at 130 to 140 mostly. The Whoryno is 110, and so maybe we'll notice that one of these is definitely much lighter than the others. But overall, this is good. This is very solid. This is totally what I'm looking for in my whiskey here. A ton of flavor on the flavor profile. The mid palate is really, really nice. Let's take a second sip here. Wow. Wow. That's good. So it definitely gives me a lot of different flavors. I'm getting a lot of different fruit on this. I'm getting peach, I'm getting cherry, and then I'm getting some nice oak. Then I'm getting some rye spice. It's not absolutely blowing me away if I'm being honest, but it's nice. It's good. It's probably drinking lower than what I suspect the proof is because it's drinking much closer to like 115, 120 proof, which isn't bad. And the palate's been warm today. I've done a few videos so far already today because I was not walking into this totally blind. Well, kind of, but one-sided blind. But this is good. This is good. I'm leaning towards like this being an 8.6 to 8.8, but we're going to come back. Let's get to pour number 2. Now I will note, these last two are much darker. Not really sure what that means, but that's going to be fun. Let's get into sample number 2 right here. Oh, okay. This smells similar, but richer in a lot of ways. This is also a relatively bright flavor profile, so it's possible that we're looking at Just Bottles versus Sunshine right now. Now, I've tried Sunshine, but I tried it so long ago that I pretty much meaningfully haven't tried it, but I thought very highly of it when I did try it, so we'll see. But overall, so I'm getting a similar kind of peach nectarine note, but it's really embedded in some really rich oak, like a really, really nice oak on this. There's definitely some rye spice and dill on here. Definitely some cherry, but that peach and nectarine is definitely the most prominent, and there's definitely some heat on this. Wow, this is punchy. Let's try it. Wow. That one I don't like as much. So that one tasted lower proof, and while the nose was pretty good, the palate was just kind of oaky. There wasn't really anything that stunned me in that. I wonder if this is the Whoryno, because it tastes lower proof. Now, this is a blind. I mean, this could be Just Bottles, this could be Sunshine. I hope it's not Sunshine. I hope Sunshine's better than this. We'll see. But overall, I'm getting a similar flavor profile, almost like a turkey flavor profile, honestly, like with that oak, with that caramel, with that cherry blending, and there's definitely some oak funk on this. But the proof on here, it seems low. I'm thinking this is the Whoryno, just because that is really the odd one out proof-wise here. But then there's such rich oak, but honestly, older oak on this, that I think this is the Whoryno, but I don't know. Let's take a second sip. So on that one, it was a lot richer. That second sip was actually much better. So it's giving me a similar peach nectarine flavor profile. It's definitely giving me a good amount of oak. A lot of oak. That was definitely oakier than the first sample. And it's good. It's good. I'm thinking mid-8s. I think I like the first sample more, but that's interesting. There's a lot of flavor on that. It kind of does taste like a lower proof, older expression. I don't know that. I don't know if this is Whoryno. That could be Sunshine. It's good. It's also not blowing me away. And so we're going to see later if anything will be blowing me away today. It could always be an off day. Who knows? But Yeah, I think we're looking at mid-8s here, which, to be clear, is amazing. It's just my bar today is really, really high, and I hope something meets it. I hope something gets us close to a 9. Let's get into sample number 3. Now, we will drink them all, and then we'll go back, and that's when we'll rate them, we'll rank them, we'll have all that fun. We have a lot of whiskey here, probably about $125 of whiskey just in these glasses, so it's going to be an expensive video, but it's going to be fun. Let's get into number 3 here. Now, they've actually kind of gotten progressively darker, and these last two are really dark, so that's going to be fun. Bro, this smells interesting. So, honestly, all of these so far haven't really given me a ton on the nose. And that could be a day thing, like maybe just, my nose isn't feeling it today. But it's a similar flavor profile. I think this one is giving me a little bit more cherry and almost a little bit of citrus on this. Oh yeah, a lot of citrus on this actually, now that I really dig into it. It's like lemon, definitely some oranges on this. Definitely some peach as well, peach and nectarine. This is fruity. And there's also a good amount of oak on this. This also smells really bright. And I mean, there are two kinds of flavor profiles, right? I think there's brighter flavor profiles, there's darker flavor profiles. I think so far we really only had lighter flavor profiles. And this is smelling like a lighter flavor profile, like a brighter one with a bright red fruit, which is what I typically lean towards over the darker flavor profiles that are more like vanilla and maple and stuff like that. But we'll see. Overall, also smells incredible. Let's try it. Oh, wow. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. There's a lot of rich oak on that. Wow. So this one, to me, gives me much more red fruit and citrus on the palate, and then gets into a lot of oak towards the late palate. That's interesting. That's very interesting. So far, I haven't actually tried anything here that's absolutely stunned me, which is a little bit disappointing. And I'm assuming we've tried some bangers so far and some $600-700 bottles. This is good. I think its issue is that it's actually like not that long of a finish. And again, this could be a day thing, like maybe I'm just not feeling it today. But I would have expected, I mean, we must have necessarily tried at least one of like 138 proofs by now. I mean, I guess we could have done 138 and 140 in these last two. But we've tried a few things that are at least 130 proof. But none of them are drinking anywhere close to that, which is sometimes good, sometimes bad. This is good. Let's take a second sip. Yeah, so this one gave me a lot more citrus and a lot more oak. It's good. It's not stunning me. It's going to be hard. I think this is better than the second. I think the second one right now is my least favorite. And then I think the first, and then, so I think it's the first, the third, then the second right now. But I think that could change a lot as we go back through here. But this is interesting. I think we actually have some very similar flavor profiles here, which makes me think, I mean, maybe these are all Barton, possibly. They're good, but none of them are really hitting that 9 mark for me so far. Let's keep chugging. Let's see if these last two can do a little bit better. And again, I'm expecting some pretty different experiences on the way back because our palates are going to be so much more warm to this stuff. But this is much darker, which is cool. Okay, this is a little bit different. So this one has a lot more vanilla and maple. Definitely still getting some peach and some citrus on this on the nose. Definitely some oak. Definitely some spice on this. It smells nice. It just smells really nice. Definitely the best smelling one so far. Oh, wow. Let's try it. Okay. That was very promising, and it was very flat. That has to be the Whoryno, which is interesting, because that's the Whoryno. Then these are, like, multiple of these must have been, or at least one of these must have been 138 proof. But that is oaky and mapley, and then the flavor just totally died on me. It's good, and it's a really nice flavor profile, and it's very crushable. It's not exactly what I'm looking for in a whiskey. And it might not be the Whoryno, it could be something totally different. This might be the Sunshine, this could be the JB. Oh, this is interesting. Yeah, I mean, this flavor profile is definitely a little bit different. Man, and there's definitely some red fruit in there if you dig really deep, but the vanilla and the maple are really dominating on this nose. And then there's some good rich oak as well. But honestly, it's a little bit straightforward, I think, relative to the others. I think this might be my least favorite so far. Let's take a second sip. Yeah. So it gives me maple, it gives me vanilla, it gives me some oak, then it dies. Like, that finish is short to medium, which is really disappointing for any of these bottles of this caliber. That's definitely my least favorite. I think all of these are in the mid to high 8s right now. I think this is probably low 8s. It's good, but I'm not going to go ahead and act like this. This one, I don't know what it is. So far, at least, on these 2 sips, it's not worth anywhere close to 600 bucks. So this one I would definitely hold my money on, and I don't know which one it is, which is worrying because I've talked very highly about some other things, so I don't know, maybe my palate's off today. But I'm going to keep telling myself that and coping. But some these might just not be as good as I thought they were. Let's get into the final sip here. Let's clean the palate a little bit first. So this one's dark. This is dark. Oh, this smells nice. Oh, wow. There's a lot of vanilla on this. Definitely also a darker flavor profile here. Vanilla, maple, some rich oak. Definitely some baking spice on this. Definitely like some seagrass as well and some sugarcane, like rye candy notes on this. Now, these aren't ryes, but it has that kind of sweetness on it, which is really nice. Oh, wow. That smells good. That's a vanilla bomb. And definitely, enough cherry behind it as well. Like, this honestly smells pretty similar to sample number 4, but it's just kind of giving me more. I wonder if this is Lisboahorror, since that one was described as a darker flavor profile. Let's take a sip. Okay. That's good. That's good. So, that's definitely up there for today. That is giving me a lot more citrus. That one is giving me a lot of cherry. That's giving me a lot. That's really interesting. That's nice. But the citrus is what's throwing me off, because I would have expected, like, if this is Lisboahorror, I would have expected a darker flavor profile that doesn't really have a lot of citrus. So now I don't know. But there's definitely some maple and vanilla on here. I'll be honest, though, none of these have blown me away. None of these have gotten to the point where I typically think, like, Just Bottle KOA is at, which is probably just because it's the day. I don't know. Maybe I wasn't feeling it as much today. Maybe 5 was too much. Maybe I should have done 3. But this is good. I don't know. I kind of expected more. Let's take another sip. Okay. That one gave me a lot more flavor. That was much better. So far, that was the best sip that I've taken. Maybe I'll leave it in my mouth a little bit more. So that one is giving me, in the beginning, some cherries. Definitely some rich oak throughout. Definitely some citrus. Definitely a good amount of vanilla. Definitely some rye spice on this. A lot of elements working together. The finish is probably medium length. And while it's not absolutely and utterly amazing, that's really nice. Like that one definitely did a lot better. Now I think we need to go through them all. We're going to rate them. We're going to rank them. I'm going to try to really sit with these a little bit longer. We'll give some really proper ratings. Then we'll find out what we're drinking. All right, let's get in to sample number 5. Let's give it a rating. Oh, man. So as we've been trying it more, it's definitely opened up to a nice vanilla. I mean, that vanilla is so rich on this. Definitely a good amount of cherry, good amount of maple. I mean, there is quite a bit to pick apart. I really like this one. I think this one's definitely going to be top 3. Let's take a sip. Oh, yeah. That one's good. That one's good. It's not beating Duro for me, but it's up there. I'm going to rate this one an 8 point... Between an 8.6 and an 8.7. It's good. Is this on the level of William LaRue Weller 2023? I'm going to give this an 8.6. I think it's delicious. I think it's great. I think what I would have liked to see a little bit more out of it, a longer finish, more punch, more richness. That's really good. Like, that is really nice whiskey. We may come back and visit it and rate it slightly different in a second here, but I think 8.6 is a good benchmark for this. I think it's definitely worthy of being $300-400 bucks. I couldn't get behind paying $600 for that, but it is good. It is very good. Let's get into sample number 4, see how it stacks up. So this one was low proof to me, at least. I think this is the Whoryno. I have no idea, though, so we'll see. But, yeah, definitely getting some peach here and some vanilla. Like, it's actually kind of a blend of what I think these first 3 flavor profiles are and this 5th flavor profile. Like, it's definitely the most unique flavor profile. I will give it that. And there's some citrus on this. There's some oak on this. But if you dig deeper, all you get is oak. Like, there's a lot of oak on this. Let's take a sip. It's just flat. Like, on the palate, it's not bad, but I don't know. I hope this isn't like Just Bottle KOA, because I've talked so highly about it before. This is going to be an 8.1. Like, this isn't even close. Like, I don't care for this one. I would avoid this one. If this is one of these bottles, I probably won't be keeping that bottle, and I'll let a friend take it or something, because, yeah, that's a little bit disappointing. It's really flat, and it tastes lower proof, and I'm getting similar flavors. I'm just getting a lot less of them. So, I don't really care for it. Let's go to sample number 3. All right, so sample number 3 here. This smells nice, actually. Definitely smells better than the 4th one. I'm wondering if it smells better than the 5th. Yeah, I mean, this one has grown into really just vanilla and a little bit of citrus, and it's good, but I will say the nose on this one might be a little bit better to me. I'm just kind of getting more on the nose, because I'm getting some vanilla, some maple, but I'm definitely getting so much more of that like peach nectarine that I really like, and some cherry, and some spice here. Okay, this one has actually opened up a lot. This might not be as bad as I thought in these last 3 here. Wow, this one's going on me. Let's try it. Okay, that's pretty nice. So, it's giving me the oak, it's giving me the fruit, it's giving me a little bit of citrus. There's not a ton of musty oak on this. Like, this isn't tasting super old. Like, I'm thinking this is probably an 8-year. I'm thinking this could be Sunshine or Just Bottles, just because they're probably fitting that age. Maybe this is Pixelated at 9 years. So, the age on this definitely, I'm not thinking this is like the 10-year or the 15-year here. But we're working with 3 that are basically the same age, so it makes it tough. But that's good. That's good. Right now, I'm going to rate this an 8.5. I think it's a little bit worse than Lisboahorror. I don't think it's that much worse. So far, I think Duro is holding up better than I was hoping it would. But let's get into the last 2 here. We might go back and change these slightly. We'll see. Let's get into sample number 2. So this one, oh wow, has grown into like a peach candy. Wow, this is interesting. There's a little bit of like rye spice and baking spice kind of breaking through here, but this is like a peach candy to me. And again, just not a ton of oak on the nose. Like, it's definitely there if you dig for it, and there's definitely the vanilla if you dig for it. But, I don't know, I'm getting a lot of peach out of these. I think these 3 are just relatively brighter flavor profiles than these last 2. And these brighter flavor profiles is like peach and nectarine to me. Let's try it. Wow. So that's good. It's slightly more simple than 3. And to me, that's just peach candy. Man, I don't think anything is going to get the rating that I typically give Just Bottles. And I've tried it enough that I'm pretty confident with how I feel about the bottle, which is honestly just making me think 5 was probably a little bit too many and I'm not enjoying these as much as I should have. But it is what it is. I'm having fun. And I think the relative scale here is probably going to be more important than the objective scale relative to a lot of the rest of the market in my ratings today. I'm going to rate this an 8.4. I think it's good. I think it's really holding its own. I think that one is worth $200-300. I think if you're paying a lot more than that, you lost me. But let's get into sample number 1. So right now, sample number 5 is winning. It's doing really well. This one is nice too. Wow. I'm getting a mix of peach and vanilla. And maybe I'm smelling the same things on the same whiskeys. I don't know. These are likely different sources, so they shouldn't be that similar in flavor profile. But maybe it is. Let's see. Whew. That one is high. That one is good. Man, I like this one. I like this one a lot. This one is oakier, and it's honestly just giving me a little bit more than 2 and 3. But I don't know. I think we might have to go through and do just one more sip just to really hone in on these ratings. But this is tight. I think 1, 2, and 3 are pretty close. I think 5 is good, and it's just very different. So it's harder to kind of put it in context of 1, 2, and 3. But, you know, it could be as hard as it wants. We give ratings on this channel to everything, and we rate everything against each other. So let's take one more small sip out of everything. Let's really hone in on our ratings, and then let's figure out what we're drinking. Man, And this is giving me peach, spice, oak. I really like that. Like that is solid to me. That I think is going to be top 3 today. And it's really just giving me so much of what I like. I definitely think this is a little bit younger. I think a lot of these are, I mean, we're drinking 8, 9, 10 years, and they're drinking like it. Like, it's not drinking that much older. But there's a nice spice on there. There's a nice peach on there. And what I really like is how kind of, there's almost like the spice candy mixing in with this peach, mixing in with this oak. And it's just giving me a lot of all these different elements that I really enjoy. But it's definitely a flavor profile that I think if you don't like that kind of peach and spice, you just really won't care for, which is why I think, I mean, some of these are very controversial. Some people absolutely love some of these. Some people absolutely hate the exact same models. So, you know, these aren't as consistent as like everybody that kind of just like everybody likes George C. Stagg or everybody likes Russell's 15. And some people might say it's not that good. It's not as good as other people think it is. But I'm yet to find somebody that actually has tried like Russell's 15 and says like this is actually garbage. And so, I don't know. Let's see. I'm going to rate this one an 8.6. I really like it. I'm going to finish this. Yeah. You know what? I almost want to give it an 8.7. I'm going to give that one an 8.7. It's good, but I definitely will have to revisit 5 because it's really close with 5. I don't know if it deserves to be higher than 5. So we'll see. You know, let's jump around. Let's go to 5. Yeah, I mean, this is vanilla maple candy right here. This one is, whichever one this is, I'm likely to keep that bottle because that's good. But honestly, I don't think anything here is like worth having backups of. And I'll be honest, at $600, I don't know if I'd buy really any of these. Although I bought a lot of them at that, so oh well. But we'll see. It's good though. It is good. Like this one, man. This one I could smell it longer. Like I can like it is a really nice sweet dark flavor profile to me. I really like this one as well. Let's try it. Yeah, I think I go to either way. I think these are both 8.7. Man, I don't know which one I like more. That one I could really see myself preferring one on different days. I think this one's a little bit more relaxing. I will say that. I think that one is giving me a little bit more punch, and the musty oak on this one, which I've been surprised. I was expecting a lot mustier oak on everything today. Because typically if an 8-year bourbon is absolutely amazing and worth charging all this money for, you would think it just tastes much older, but these aren't really tasting much older. This one does taste much older, but this one is like, it's light, and it's or I shouldn't say it's light. It's like, it's a dark flavor profile, but it's not like killing you with proof or anything as well. Oh man, I wish I knew what these were, but I don't. Well, I'm going to take this final sip here. I think they're going to get the same rating here today. Yeah, I think 8.7 is fair. Oh, which one do I like more? It's a toss-up. It's a toss-up. I think day to day I could prefer different ones. I'm going to rate this one a little bit higher. Well, I'm going to rate it the same, but I'm going to say that it is 1 and 2. Let's get back into 2, 3, and 4. See if they do a little bit better for us. It's a tough blind. It's a tough blind. And I've had a lot already. And so, we'll see. I probably should have done 4 or 3, but that's okay. Yeah, this one really leaning into peach candy for me. And that's the thing, like, if one is going to give me that peach and the spice and the oak in a way that, like, 2 and 3 may give me similar things, but just not as much of each, why the heck would I ever drink 2 and 3? I just drink 1 all day. And I hope that's Just Bottles KOA, because I really like Just Bottles KOA. But I was also hoping Sunshine did really well, and so far I don't know if it is, because I don't know if this one is Sunshine, because I don't think it's a super bright flavor profile, and I think the name Sunshine was designed to be a bright and sunny, and that's the idea, and it's like citrus, I don't know. But let's see. Let's get into sample number 2 here. Okay, that's actually going to me a lot. Okay, that's like an orange candy. It's good. It's not bugging me away. I'm gonna rate this one an 8 point. I don't remember what I rated it before, but I'm at an 8.4, 8.5 right now. I'm gonna go with 8.4. It's good, but I think 1 and 5 are definitely better, and I don't think it's super close. Let's see, sample number 3. Man, this is interesting. I was expecting higher ratings, I will say. I guess there's a reason why Duro is $1,000 and these other bottles are like $600-700. because Duro is just that good, and Duro was an 8.9. And so while I was hoping we would get some things today that were really going to be in the 9s, I'm a little bit disappointed, I'll be honest, but we'll see. Let's try sample number 3. I just don't like that one as much as 2 or 3. I mean, I should say 1 or 2. It's a similar flavor profile. It's giving me the peach, it's giving me the spice, it's giving me the oak. It's kind of flatter than the others. I'm so interested what these are going to be. Yeah, I don't like this one as much, if I'm being honest. I mean, something here is Sunshine. And Sunshine, when I tried it, it blew me away. So I'm thinking it's maybe more of a palate thing today than it is anything else. But I don't know. It just smells like peach. It smells like oak. It's good, but it's never hot. Maybe that's one Sunshine. I'm going to rate this one an 8.3. Not for me. It's crazy, because 8.3 for $600 is a little overpriced. But, yeah, I think I'm pretty set on the last one. I think this one's going to be an 8.1, but I guess I'll take a little bit of a sip here. That's good. It's flat. It's 8.1. Okay, let's go through our ratings. So, we have 8.1 for sample number 4. Sample number 3 is an 8.3. I believe this one's an 8.4, 8.7, and 8.7. So 1 and 5 did really well today. So we'll check those last, but let's check sample number 4. This is the fun part, right? Like this is where all the money comes out. Sample number 4 is Whoryno. Okay, that's what we thought. I thought it tasted lower proof. A little bit disappointing. It is nice. Like, I'll be honest, it is nice. And I think I can fairly add like 0.2 to the ratings today, because when you do a blind and you're trying everything together and you're drinking a lot at once, I mean, just naturally you're going to enjoy flavors a lot less. It's always a reminder when I do these videos that, I don't know, I like my whiskey one at a time, once a day, and not really that much more than that, but that's okay. We got to do these videos sometimes, because I also have a lot of fun doing these. But yeah, Whoryno for number 4, I get it. But man, am I interested to find out what number 3 is. Number 3 is Pixelated. Okay, totally understandable. Totally believe it. I don't mind it. I just think these two are a lot better. Yeah, I don't know. I don't care for it. Like, it's good. It's good, but it's not $600 good. Now, these top 3, I'll be honest, these top 3 I can get behind on different days. I think that there's something to really show for each one of them. And so while I think, I'm starting to think any of them are worth $600, I think, I don't know how much the ratings indicate it, but I do think these last 2 are much worse than these first 3. I almost want to bump this one to an 8.5, even though I don't know what it is, but I guess that would be cheating. So let's find out what number 3 was. Number 3 here is, number 2 here, excuse me, is Sunshine. Okay, wow. Huh. Just Bottles did really well. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I thought Sunshine would do better today, but Just Bottles KOA is good. Let's check number 1. It's Just Bottles KOA. Exactly what I thought. Okay. I haven't really tried many of these before, but I think we predicted these really well. Oh, what do you know? Lisboahorror is number 1. Yeah, not a shocker there. Lisboahorror and Just Bottles are great. This one for $450 on secondary. It's great. Sunshine, I think, I'm interested to see how that will open up, because when I did try Sunshine last time, I was definitely getting much more than I got on it today, which was a little bit surprising. Pixelated and Whoryno, though, I don't know. I would pass on these. I guess these are these 2 bottles, so not too special for me. But that was fun. I really did enjoy this. I was excited for it. I would have hoped for higher ratings, but I guess Just Bottles KOA, I've rated it so many times now, and it's always gotten that, like, I guess 8.7 is the lowest rating that it's received. I'm giving it an 8.8. I originally gave it a 9.1 on the neck, but it was known that the neck on Just Bottles was so absolutely ridiculous, and then it kind of got a little bit worse. So, yeah, I'm understanding, and I think as my bottle opens up a little bit more and now getting under 50%, I'm not surprised that I'm enjoying it slightly less at an 8.7, but it's also fun to see. I don't drink many of the same thing multiple times, and so Just Bottles KOA has really been a nice baseline for me in a lot of these things, and so I think if we do another blind like this, if you guys want to see it, definitely let me know down below in the comments. I have like 6 more Brook Hill samples that we can try. You know, it's nice to use Just Bottles as a baseline, and also to see how my palate is developing, because so many people get to try, you know, all these bottles, and when you drink through a bottle, you see how it develops, and you really learn that bottle in a way that I go much more for quantity, and I've tried 600 whiskeys this year, and so I haven't really drank that much of any particular whiskey. Almost all of those are going to be 1 ounce, and so that's been fun. But Lisboahorror really did well today. I do like this bottle, Lisboahorror. I think it's solid. I think that one, you know, if you're going to get a Brook Hill, I think that one is very solid. I don't think any of these, I'll be honest, at least maybe this Just Bottles is probably worth a backup or two. But I think anything else isn't really worth a backup, if I'm being honest. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you'll have a lovely rest of your day. Man, this was fun. Catch you all in the next one.